same
Back
place.
to the
Alan.
rage, passion.
Passion is not rage. It's just pain.
Did you really kick a door today?
I did. I'll show
Was
you.
it open or closed?
It was open after I kicked it. So
good thing you know a handyman.
Yeah. So in fact, when I came back later, one of the guys says, "I'm not fixing that." I'm like, "I don't want you to. In fact, I want you to draw an arrow to it because the next guy who pulls that in a meeting with me is going to get the same thing." So
that was in a meeting.
Yeah.
Chris,
I know. The passion came out, Alan.
Yeah.
And I have a yeah. It's just not good.
Did it work?
Unfortunately, I don't think it did. And unfortunately, I think we're at an impasse, and unfortunately think I'm going to be parting with another employee.
Welcome to the Small Business Safari, where I help guide you to avoid those traps, pitfalls, and dangers that lurk when navigating the wild world of small business ownership. I'll share those gold nuggets of information and invite guests to help accelerate your ascent to that mountaintop of success. It's a jungle out there, and I want to help you traverse through the levels of owning your own business that can get you bogged down and distract you from hitting your own personal and professional goals. So strap in, adventure team, and let's take a ride through the safari and get you to the mountaintop.
Alan, we get ready to rock and roll. We're doing this without a guest today, Alan.
I think it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, you got a good topic you sent me a minute ago.
I do, but I can't get to that right now. So
you got something. You got to burn your saddle, don't you?
Alan, we look at a lot of stuff in our businesses, small businesses. And what we get into it, you guys have heard me say this a lot over and over. Just said it in the last podcast. If you don't have passion for your business, you're not going to work. Well, it's going to be hard. It's going to be a slog. If you're not passionate about what you do at work, it's going to be hard. It's going to be a slog. You can probably be good at it, but to be really great at it, you got to be passionate about it. I really think that.
Where's the cutoff between passion and rage?
So do you know where passion comes from?
Where?
It comes from the Latin word of pain. Thank you, Alan. So
I wish you could see the look on your face.
I am on the edge of passion and pain.
Yeah.
So I am training another sales person, doing this because a guy that I had spent a lot of time training has to move away, and That's
unacceptable.
It hurts, but he had to move away from Mama, and I get it. Good guy, and I told him best wishes, and he's allowed to come back. Which I don't often say that.
No, you burn most of your bridges.
I try to make sure that I burn all the ships.
Yeah, that's right.
And the bridges. And the skyscrapers. And your kids and your livestock. But anyway, so...
scorched earth
is
normally your policy.
Yeah, I usually go that way. And it usually hurts my foot because I have to kick something. Literally the door today and broke it in. So... I'm training a new sales guy, and I said, load me up. We're going to see a million things. I want to see everything. So we start going. And in the handyman world, we'll see 2 or 3 exterior trim repairs, which start to get pretty systematic. And we have systematized how to quote those. But then you're going to walk in, and you're going to have somebody who wants to add a space underneath their underneath their stairs in their home for a little more storage. Then you're going to go see somebody who wants to fix one door of a melamine door that's got the thermofoil over it that's already flaked off, which you have to explain to them that that's impossible and they won't hear you. And then you're going to go look at a master bath, which literally I can quote within 10 minutes.
A master bath.
A master bath. I can look at everything you look at. I don't care if it's a 20.
Is it just because you're rounding up by 10 grand?
I'm not, let's just say I'm not good to the penny. But no, it's because we have a system and we know exactly how much it costs for us to do it by the square foot, by the linear foot, whether or not you're doing a standalone upgraded tub, or you're going to keep your own tub, or you're not going to have a tub, or if you're going to expand your shower footprint. We have all that in my system.
And you can do a good, better, best. Boom, boom, boom.
Boom, 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 done. And I get the range, and then I can go calculate it, and it's all based on the quote really will depend on your fits and finishes. You know, what kind of trim do you want to do when you're done? What kind of fixtures do you want to use? You know, what kind of shower? Do you want to have a heated floor, not a heated floor? Do you want to have a Kohler or a Hans Grohe shower, or do you want to have a Delta Moen, or I don't use anything lower than that? And so I know that. So we run across one, and it's a microwave, and I'm going for an existing customer. I'm going to his daughter's house.
What do you mean you're doing a microwave?
So they have bought a microwave, and they want to install that over their oven.
You just Oh, okay. Oh,
over their oven. Over their oven.
it's like they hire you to plug it in.
No, it's already plugged in and it's
Okay.
sitting on their kitchen table. And I get there and we do the measurements and we look at it. And the reason I'm there is because my customer could not get the microwave out over the double oven because they didn't know how to. And I said, we know how to do that. It's not necessarily that difficult if you know what you're doing. That being said, I said, let's just measure everything up. And I measured up and I realized that this one's just slightly larger.
The microwave is larger than the opening?
Not than the opening, other than the one they have today. So I can get the microwave in. It is a countertop only microwave. You can put those in cabinets now. It's okay. I had to go check with my appliance specialist because if it's anything too hard or appliance repair, I usually send it to these guys. And they said, no, you can put that one in the cabinet. I'm like, great. Here's the thing. We looked at everything I just talked to you about, and I told my guy that I'm training, I'm like, we are going to spend more time on this $250 installation of a microwave that they're going to think is really expensive and a lot of money because the father is doing it for his daughter and son-in-law, both of which are working and going to school and have 3 kids. So $250.
So you're not going to make any money, and they're going to be ungrateful.
And
that's a lose-lose.
I will have probably worked on this one. Forget the time I was in the house. After the fact, I probably have now put an hour and a half into it.
How do you avoid that?
You got to avoid that, Alan, because that's not a recipe for making money.
No,
you got to have passion, man. And I was like,
but
I want to solve this problem
because if you take care of that, then you might get something else in the house.
And right? I get my current customers master bath, which I did for them, and I've done their master bath, which is why I'm willing to go out and take care of his daughter's place. So there are times when you're giving back, and you're running a nonprofit, and this one feels like a nonprofit. Yeah.
And usually the small jobs are the ones that are the biggest pain in the butt.
They are. And
people complain a lot.
Yeah. And so when I talk to, as you know, I'm the now former president of NARI, but now chairman of the board.
Thank God I don't have to genuflect anymore when I walk in.
It was hard giving up the hat and the scepter, the crown, that is. So it was hard giving that up. I kept the robe. I kept my outer vestments.
You use that for sexy time?
Right. But I still enjoy it. But when I talk to other remodelers, I mean, some of these guys are doing jobs, $1 million, $2 million blow ups on homes in San Antonio, Texas, Austin, Texas, Palo Alto. And that's a lot of money, Alan. I don't know if you think
that's a completely different animal. I mean, like, honestly, and I don't know if you're comfortable saying this on the air, but I bet you are. I mean, where is your sweet spot?
My sweet spot is that handyman for a day to 2 or 3 days. So anywhere between $1,000 and $3,000 spending with us, we rock solid. That's a handyman for a day, or maybe we got a couple days worth of work to do there. We're in and out. We knock it. We know how to do transactions. It's a totally different beast.
And they're happy.
They are happy. But when they're not happy, if somebody were to come to you and said, I'm spending $1 million with you, Alan, I'm not happy. That's a lot of money. Now, if I turn around and said, Alan, I'm spending $250 with you, that's a lot of money. Are you going to say, well, no, it's not?
Kind of. I want to.
Yeah, but Alan, if I put $250 in the ground and said, you can't pick that up because that's not a lot of money, you're going to, no, it's a lot of money. It's all relative, people. That's the problem. And that's where you got to really have your service buttoned up, and you really got to prove your value proposition for me and my company. And that's where I've seen remodelers, when things are slow, say, I'm just going to do handyman stuff. I'm like, don't do it. And that's why I've been on other podcasts. And I'm like, hey, you're a handyman company? And they're like, yeah, I want to scale up and do remodeling. I'm like, don't do it. Because you can't do both. Because what happens is, just like when you and I came out of the corporate world, I was running a $20 million loss center. I was an operational center, but I had a $20 million a year budget. And then I came out running my business where I had a $5,000 a month budget.
Right.
And every dollar counts.
Yeah.
And it's hard to look for every dollar and every penny when you're saying, hey, it's $1 million. All right, $1 million on 20, that's a lot. But when you're saying, hey, Chris, they want to do a birthday lunch for a 20-year employee, I'm like, absolutely, cater it and do the whole thing. What is it? $1,000. Who cares?
Oh, I remember those days.
Right. And now if I said, hey, Alan, can you take me out to a fancy dinner and pay $1,000?
I'm just hoping you're looking at the bottom of the wine list.
Exactly. So that's the thing is that, it's all relative. And that's the hard part in our businesses is that your value proposition is all based on the relative area you're working in. Now, the $1 and $2 million guys I'm talking about, really the $500,000 ones, the most prescient to me, is that they're dealing with these guys for 6 months. And if it's a bad client and a bad actor,
That's a bad 6 months.
that's a rough 6
It's a
months.
good chunk of your life just
Right.
down the pooper.
I've got a day.
Mm.
And
Yeah, and you can hold your nose and do anything for a day, right?
yeah, again, it's all relative, but yes, I think we can. And that's why, we got now, 1,380 Google reviews. I mean, I sit there, I'm looking at you right now going, wow, dude, I can't even imagine. I never thought I'd be over 1,000. But we've really put a press on it. We asked the guys to do it. They asked for it. They believe in what we're doing. We've got 15 great guys right now, knock on wood, doing the work out in the field. And we're up over that. And that's just proving to me that people take the time to go tell you that you're doing a good job. That's not out of the goodness of their heart. They're taking a minute because they really believe in what your guys just did.
Yeah, because it's got to take a stick of dynamite for me to leave a review anymore.
Yep. And I would tell you, I've got great friends over the years when I said, I'm begging you, I'm going to do this for free. Can you just give me a review? They still have not. Still.
I got a job you can do at my house for free, and I'll give you a review.
No, you still pay, and you still give me the review, which you have. You have done the review. So I'm thankful for that.
So how's 26 looking for you? Let's timestamp this.
Let's talk 26. So 2024 to 2025 in the home services business, I was up 1.5%. 1.5. Oh. Then you start talking to those guys.
Were you rounding up?
I was, because really it's more like 1.27. So that means 1.5. You're lucky I had to write up to 10. I wanted to so bad.
I'm tonning it.
Tonning it. And it didn't. And unfortunately, my net profit did go up slightly, but I did spend more.
So you cut your way to profitability. Is that what I just heard?
No, I stayed even, and I did it by being more efficient in the top area, and that's by making some changes in the structure that I have and the way I deliver remodeling services, because I was stupid for 10 years. So good news is I'm a quick learner.
Yeah.
10. I spent more on advertising last year in 25.
Good for you.
Yep. And when I compare myself to others in the business, and a lot of guys listen to the pod have chimed in and told me about their businesses. And as you know, we've had other smaller companies come and visit us here at the Trusted Toolbox. But guys of size, guys who've been in the business for as long as I have, nobody was up. Everybody was slightly down. And so does that make you a winner?
By comparison.
Right. Does that make you feel better?
No, not at all. No, it was the last year. Yeah, so commercial real estate, weird year. Another year where interest rates were down a little bit, prices came down a little bit. Nobody's pessimistic. It's just nobody's doing anything, and we're not in a recession.
Would you say the term I've been using is uncertain? I think a lot of people are very uncertain right now.
Yeah, of course we've got things going on in the government and the tariffs and all that stuff, and I don't know what it is.
So I don't think it's the tariffs. I would put tariffs in the top 3. I don't think that's our primary.
I think we're kind of used to just tariffs being applied willy-nilly and then all of a sudden they go away. But it is weird. I mean, there was we're trying to do the soft landing going back to the Biden administration, and then Trump comes in, and I feel like between the two of them, that actually happened. The economy has slowed down, but we had the economist on, I think it was a year ago or something, and he talked about there's recessions in various verticals, but I'm not seeing it. I feel like most people, if you need to sell your house, you're selling your house. You need a job, maybe it's a little slower to sell your house, not much. Still historically pretty quick. Get a job, historically still pretty quick. But it takes a little bit more leverage to get people to part with their money.
Yeah, you said 2 words that I would tell you and challenge it is that if I need to sell my house, yeah, I'll sell it. If I want to sell my house, I'm not gonna. Here's why. Most of us, 75. If we had Beach on the pod, 75% of all mortgages are under 4% stat.
Right.
He said, I would argue that 65% are under 3%. So you're in the cheapest interest home that you could possibly be in, paying the most principal on your number one asset. So if you want to sell your house, You're not going to anything. And by the way, everything is appreciated, especially here in Atlanta, and across the U.S. Very few markets have actually receded in price. So you'd have to go to a more expensive home because of interest carrying costs. So if you wanted to, 7% was not 3.
Right.
What's 7 minus 3?
4.
That's a lot. I don't know about you, Alan, but that's a lot of money.
Is this many?
4. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, Elmo. And now people, I think, are getting used to the fact that you're not going to see 3 again. And if you're in your 6s, okay, well, welcome. What was your interest rate in your first home in the 90s?
It was a lot.
It was. I was at 7.25, and I bought down to get there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think people are going, I guess it is what it is. And now I really do want that house. I really do want that place to raise my family. I really do want to upgrade and get that extra bedroom and extra bathroom. And so I'm starting to see that in 26 already here in the Atlanta area.
Yeah, we've got more activity in commercial real estate in 26 starting off than we had in 25 or 24 starting off. Now, it's still harder, but there's just more activity. There's more people that are looking for things, or need, their businesses need to grow. They need to find a new location, that kind of thing. I mean, that's happening.
Yeah, I think the other thing, you brought up the politics, and you can ignore it if you want. And frankly, as you and I both know, we can't affect this at the national level, not you and I on our podcast. Of course, we might be able to affect it a little bit more than our little city of Johns Creek. And after the podcast, more to come on that one, people. You'll stay tuned to that. But when you think of that, you go, okay. But I think both sides of the aisle are looking at the same quarter. One's looking at it from one side, one's looking at the other side, but they're both looking at a quarter. And the rhetoric you're going to hear from one side is, well, it's Trump. He's a maniac. He's doing this. He's doing that. He keeps changing his mind. And if you're on the Trump side, you're like, well, he's just cleaning up all the mistakes that have been made, and it's what's going on. And, oh, by the way, the Democrats are still in the way. I don't care. I want that quarter. I want you to give me that quarter. Give me that quarter. Give me the damn quarter. You guys can argue about something else.
Well, so this kind of leads into what, I don't know if we have time anymore to talk about it, but you wanted to talk about strategic planning.
I do, which I know you have a definite bias towards.
Oh, maybe towards or against. I mean,
against.
Yeah. I've sat in way too many strategic planning circle jerks that, were a royal pain in the butt, and I don't know if we actually ever implemented anything. However, I think if done well, can be useful. But the first thing that you need to do is you need to look at your market conditions, and what's going on in the political landscape is part of that.
100%. I think you're right, and we're going to get to it because I publish a newsletter. If you're not on my newsletter, just ping me, Chris at thetrustedtoolbox.com, or you can go to chrislalamia.com and sign up for our newsletter.
You can complain there too.
And you can complain there too. I accept all complaints equally. They all go to the same place.
Back to the rage, passion.
Passion is not rage. It's just pain.
Did you really kick a door today?
I did. I'll show you.
Was it open or closed?
It was open after I kicked it. So
good thing you know a handyman.
Yeah. So in fact, when I came back later, one of the guys says, "I'm not fixing that." I'm like, "I don't want you to. In fact, I want you to draw an arrow to it, because the next guy who pulls that in a meeting with me is going to get the same thing." So
that was in a meeting.
Yeah.
Chris,
I know the passion came out, Alan.
Yeah.
And I have a yeah. It's just not good.
Did it work?
Unfortunately, I don't think it did. And unfortunately, I think we're at an impasse, and I'm unfortunately think I'm going to be parting with another employee. Yeah. We're not seeing the same. We're not seeing the same side of the quarter, as it were, and that's not about politics. It has nothing to do with politics. So it's tough running a business, but this is the wrong month to be doing that for me, because this is my slow month. This is where I'm taking money out of my line of credit to make payroll.
So is this when you do your strategic planning?
I do. Okay. And it's the hardest part, and this is what I want to get into, is that strategic planning, it is hard to do it when you're staring at market conditions and an option A. I don't have the revenue that I'm going to have, and I know I will in 4 or 5 months. But it's hard to predict that it's going to happen. Even though this is my 17th year doing it, I know it's going to pick back up. It always will. I think I've got some really good marketing ideas that are going to work, hopefully, for us this year. And I got some that were paying off last year. I'm just hoping they pay off even more. That being said, my plan for 2025 was to grow by $1 million, and I did not. I stayed flat. So this year, my conservative plan is to grow for that million, and my bang out plan is to grow by 2 million.
So that brings me to my question, which is you have your mission statement, you have your budget, you have your goals, and you have your strategic plan. Do they work together?
So we use a mission plaque at the Trusted Toolbox because it's more digestible by my team, and it's always up in our training room when we get the whole team together every other Wednesday. So it's easy for them to see the very simple words that bring us all together and kind of galvanize us.
Which is, if you don't sell a lot, I'm going to kick the door in and fire you? Is that?
Or if you disagree with Chris in a meeting. No, that wasn't it. In fact, that should be our mission statement. Don't ever disagree. No, I love it when people dissent. I just don't like it when they don't pay attention. So I think, yes, the answer is your strategic plan. Sometimes people say that's 3 to 5. What I'm going to tell you to do is to make it simple. There's a lot. We've had business coaches on talk about it. Make it simple for yourself. Where do you start? Well, first, you got to look at marketing conditions. All right. 2, you got to look at what you're offering, what your value proposition is. All right. Then you're going to say, how much do you want to bring home? Because that's where it starts. I think for a lot of us.
Well, then that goes back to my question, though. You got your budget that you put together at some point.
Right.
And then you have your goals, which I'm assuming the budget is real numbers. Goals are kind of want to numbers.
Those are the want to numbers. Yeah. And so I haven't committed that spend, because the spend that I can ratchet up and ratchet down in my spend is the advertising dollars.
And then the strategic plan not only talks about the financial, the strategy and tactics to get to those goals, but it's everything else. It's scaling or, all the initiatives that you want to maybe implement this year.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've got the initiatives. But one thing I've found.
How many?
So right now we have 3 strategic initiatives. That is the software and the CRM that we're using is more effective use of that. And that's utilizing AI to make us more effective in delivery. And that means being able to maybe dispatch technicians more readily to do jobs quicker, which will speed our throughput up.
Who's involved in your strategic planning?
So in this case, it was my general manager and myself. I didn't involve other people on this one.
Okay, so that kind of goes against conventional wisdom, right?
It does. That being said, I feel like the team that I have in place right now is more conducive to tactical and execution than they are strategic. So if I tell them this is the plan and then have them help me work out the details of the tactical execution, that's where I think their skill sets lie better in. I brought in the past, I've tried to do back to what you have poo-pooed over the years. I've tried to do everybody together in a strategic offsite meeting, kumbaya, bowling, kumbaya, cooking together, kumbaya, go on a boat together.
So the argument for that is if they're involved in it, one, there could be, when I'm assuming part of your strategic planning is the SWOT analysis. And
that's way too technical. No, I haven't gotten that far. You're actually better than I am. I am on that.
Well, okay. But okay. So then the 2 benefits of involving your team are you may pick up some things that you're blind to. And then the other thing is that you have team buy-in if they're involved.
If they're involved at the strategic level.
Right.
All right. I think if I involve them at the tactical level, I will still get the blind spots and the weaknesses that are gonna come out at more of tactical level. And not get them bogged down in something they're not used to thinking like. Then they'll still feel like they're part of the plan. That's my guess. I'm going to try it this year because I'm trying something completely different by not having them go off-site and do something because it hasn't been effective for me the last couple of years. Hiring the right people shouldn't feel overwhelming. At Smart Hire Solutions LLC, they take a smarter, more human approach to hiring. Smart Hire Solutions helps you get the right candidates, carefully vets, presents only the best fits for sales roles, lead technicians, key team members, in-home services, construction, and many more. No resume pile nightmares, no wasted time. Today's labor market is tough to navigate, and having the Smart Hire Solutions LLC team on board makes it smooth sailing. Founder Tina McKenna brings decades of real-world experience, not only in recruiting, but in marketing. She runs this thing like a business that's involved with you. Check out their fresh approach at yoursmarthire.com. That's yoursmarthire.com. Or connect with Tina McKenna on LinkedIn. That's Tina McKenna with Smart Hire Solutions, LLC, yoursmarthire.com.
Yeah, and I think most of the time strategic planning doesn't seem to be effective. And why is that? Because I mean, conceptually, it sounds like a great idea.
Because I think I don't know the answer to this. I think what I'm
spend 3 days circle jerking, and you come up with all these great ideas, and then nobody looks at the plan the rest of the year. I think is half the problem.
So I think in this case, better use of everybody's time is that they get a couple hours, and then we get to work on the tactical execution of our strategic initiatives. And then they have input, buy-in, and it's at their level that they, I'm not going to say the word understand, that sounds very condescending, but it's where they can actually make a difference. And I'm going to go back to this. We'll vote for a president, but we're not impacting who gets in. But we, at our level in the city, have definitely impacted who got in. I know you have. And at the state level, we're kind of thinking maybe our podcast might.
It could.
It might do a little something, don't know. So I want to get these guys at the level where they can feel like they've made the most contribution. And that's that's where I'm going at with this one this time. This
is
year.
The implementation piece. Here's what we're going to do.
And tell me how to do it better.
Okay. That's interesting.
Tell me how to do it better. What would you do that would make this better? This is what I want to do, but tell me how to do it better. And to do it again, I'm going to do the same thing I've done every year, which I still a firm believer in, is we're going to have a word of the year for the company. And that rallying cry with that up there has been good.
Is the word of the year what you're really thinking?
Nope. What word do you think I kicked to the curb when Kirk and I got together to talk about word of the year? I'll give you the words that we put out.
Yeah.
Can't say that.
No,
can't say that one.
Say that.
Can't say do your fucking job. Nope. That's not one word, by the way. What words do you think that I had to kick to the curb?
Oh my God. I mean, they're all the ones that George Carlin talked about.
Yeah. The 7 swear words. Yeah. No, none of those words were even. In fact, I put those in front of him. He says, "No, you said one word, Chris. You can't have adjectives in front of him." So words, accountability, words, discipline, words, practitioner. No. So the word we picked this year was ascend. To ascend the mountain. And we talk about this in the pod because of the small business safari. And I keep talking to you guys about going up the mountain, making it happen. It's a journey. And one of the ones we're going to put a training module together on is Mount Everest. And you talk about what it takes to get up Mount Everest.
So is that word more for you than it is for them? And it's just a theme that you keep working on. It helps you lead?
I think this is something they can rally around that's a little bit more.
Have you seen them rally around a word?
I think so. Because we have them all throughout our hallway when you walk up and down our office. And I've had people point to it without them knowing I was looking at it. Telling somebody else about your attitude reflects your altitude. Or, hey, this is the first word of the year. Back before I started here, it's called culture. And I think we have a great culture. I've heard those words emanated in the hallway, and that makes a big difference to me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's been pretty cool. And so, yes, I think one word, it does a couple things. It gives us a guidepost. It gives us something to remember. It gives us something that, while continually reinforced, actually happens over the next 11 months. As opposed to a strategic plan with 25 strategic initiatives and 3 outcomes and this and that, and nothing ever gets tracked or done. And I think that one word, that one guidepost helps because we weave it into training. We'll weave it into training for our CSRs and individual training. We'll weave it into our estimators in terms of book club and individual training there. And we'll bring it up all the time in team training with our technicians when we get to see them.
Well, I think you pointed out one thing about strategic planning is, there's just way too many initiatives. I mean, and I like your number 3. That's a doable number of things.
Next one is increase the gross profit. I want everybody focused on the gross profit. I'll worry about the net. That's not their problem. Their problem is to solve is how can we be more effective selling to our customers and doing it the right way. That means, are we buying the right materials? Are our guys not being paid for work that they didn't get to complete? Are we charging the right amount? So each group has a different part of the grow our gross profit. So that's another big part of the initiatives that we have. And that's where I say, all right, help me. And I've already had some help brought in. I've already had Janessa come out of accounts payable and accounts receivable. And I've already had another initiative we just put in place already without even having our big company-wide meeting about it yet. And that is, let's take a deposit before we start any work on the house.
Do you spend much time looking back? So you had a flat year. Your intent was to grow by $1 million. And I mean, can you easily identify why? Was it just the market wasn't there, the lead volume, the close rate, okay, you pointed at me.
Close rate, yep, number one problem. We were not closing as many as we should have, and that's
percentage-wise, compared to previous year.
Team, and that was hence the issue I had this morning was
hence the door kick.
Yes, because I was teaching and coaching because I have been out doing a lot of estimates as of late, and I'm seeing some patterns, and I get to listen to these guys on their sales calls and evaluate them using the Plod device. And I was trying to explain to one individual, and he was pushing back, and everybody else had been bought into it. And
what was he pushing back on?
He was pushing back on
pick that scab.
Yeah, leading in with discount. When I'm in front of you, I'm going to give you a discount because I know you, Alan. I'm going to give you the friend's discount. Well, Chris, I haven't.
So he's leading with that.
Leading. We don't even know where we're at yet. We haven't even given him a number yet.
Oh, that's dumb.
Wow. You know what, Alan? No door gets kicked in today. Thank you, Alan. And thank you, everybody on the podcast. Alan has confirmed why I kicked the door in. Because he was arguing with me, telling me why he goes, so you don't want to win jobs? I said, nobody wants to win more than me, buddy. Ever. And that's hard. So when you're trying to coach and they're not listening, his
mindset was everybody wants a deal.
Yeah. But here's the thing. I don't have, and we've had people on talking a lot about Amazon. I don't have a product. You don't have reading glasses that one guy has them for $20 for 5, one guy has them for 17 for 5, one guy has them for 16 for 5. Who are you going to go with? The same exact glasses.
Right. Yeah.
Well, 16.
Right.
It's the same thing. Well, I don't have a product. I have a service. And I do things differently than other companies. I offer a 1-year warranty. I offer background check, fully insured, trained technicians.
And you're not the low-cost provider by culture.
I can't. And so, but in our commodity, just because one guy says he can do it for $250 and I do it for $300, it's not the same. And if I have to discount $50 to win the job, I will last resort, because everybody likes to feel like they have a deal. But let's face it, I also have to make money or I don't stay in business, and I don't get to come back and help you with your home. And you don't get to write me a great review about how awesome we are if I'm out of business next year and you don't get to use me again. And that's the other thing I was trying to impress upon everybody in the room was, look, the work we do, 40% of people come back and ask us for more work. That tells us we're doing a pretty damn good job with a good value system. You got to build on that. You got to sell the value of what you're doing. And if I can't do that, and there are studies out there that say that 60% of the jobs we look at, nobody ever does anything with. And that is a big.
Well, that's a crazy stat.
It is a crazy, real stat. And we learned that from Victor Antonio, who I will eventually get on the podcast. I missed my window, but we'll get him on. And you and I have met him one day. Actually, you weren't with me, but it doesn't matter. It was Hank.
I was there.
I know. He should have been there with me. So, yeah, I mean, so looking at it, the word of the year this year is ascend. When you look back on the year, the words that we've used over the year, I put it in the newsletter. I won't bore you guys with them. It's, no, I'm kidding. I was about to maul off again. But last year's word was dependable. And I used the Wright brothers as an analogy of, were they the smartest people in the world? No. Were they the most funded people in the world? No.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
But who are they up against? They were up against every international power in the world trying to make flight happen.
Yeah, government.
And by the way, the U.S. was not international power at the time. It was Germany. It was Russia. It was other countries. And these guys were able to figure it out. So much so that the U.S. invested in them, and it became a big deal. So they depended on each other and their suppliers to figure out how to get the first in flight. And a pretty impressive story. And we use that throughout the year to talk about how we depend on each other to get to that next level. Does it work all the time? Well, the numbers prove different.
Yeah, maybe your word should have been close.
So that's why this year the word is ascend, as in my foot may ascend up your if you don't close more. So I know we're going to come to the close on this one, Alan, but we had a lot of fun with this one. Thanks for letting me banter, let me go around, talk about it. Once again, buddy, I love having you on the podcast. Don't forget to go out there and tell your friends about this thing. Man, keep sharing this podcast. We're loving the numbers, love where we're at. We want to get even bigger. We're going to do some great things in 26. We haven't talked about our podcast goals because Alan and I haven't talked about our strategic plan for our podcast.
Oh, we should spend 3 days on the golf course, strategic planning.
You know what? We're going to do that. Tim, we want to go to...
or Decufly.
Or Decuf. Well, he's out there running around in his Tesla all over the world.
In Houston tonight.
Wherever he is, I just love it. They're on Facebook, and Decuf, every picture Christy takes is of him with his hands in his pocket while Tesla driving around.
That's right.
And she's like, hey, he's not really driving.
They're eating barbecue as the car drives them across Texas.
Oh, dear God. But Tim McLemore, he's not listening anymore. You know why? He's built his business.
You know what he did? He built a simulator.
Tim!
In his basement.
Tim, invite me over, buddy. I'll bring bourbon.
I already put a driver through his ceiling.
Yes, let's go. And on that note, keep putting drivers through ceilings. Get through that ceiling. Don't let that ceiling confine you. You go through it like Alan makes you go through it. Keep making it happen. We got to get out of here. Let's go, Alan.
Cheers, everybody.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Small Business Safari. Remember, your positive attitude will help you achieve that higher altitude you're looking for in the wild world of small business ownership. And until next time, make it a great day today.